Welcome, welcome to our live video instruction for day 4 of the 5-day Essential Oils Reboot program. I'm so glad that you're here, and give yourself a big pat on the back for making it this far to day 4. That's pretty amazing. I know that 5 days of self-care and making these little changes in your habit doesn't seem like a lot. It doesn't seem too demanding or too taxing, right? Like I can do 5 minutes a day of self care, right? But when push comes to shove and reality hits, it's like, wow, it actually is kind of hard to get yourself to devote that kind of attention to self care. I think that self care is not something that we really teach a lot in our society. It's just go, go, go. And then, especially, I mean, personally, me as a mother and as a woman, I feel like oftentimes our culture and our society sort of forces us to focus on our children, our husbands, our friends, our everything else except for ourselves for a while. And I don't think there's anything wrong or selfish about making yourself priority number one when it comes to your life, your health, your happiness, because if your cup's not full, how can you fill other people's cups, right? So I want to know, how have you guys been feeling so far? Has it been difficult for you to prioritize these challenges, to take care of yourself, to implement some of these strategies? Or has it been easy and you're like, give me more, Sam? Let me know. So a lot of people are hopping on. Thanks for joining us live. Good morning from British Columbia again, Susan. Hi. Upstate New York, Tracy, Angela Costa from New York. We got a lot of New Yorkers here today. So welcome, everyone. Glad that you are here with us live. And if you're watching the replay, just type replay in the comments below. Let me know that you're here and you're still in it to win it, as they say. So day 4 is all about detoxing and de-stressing with essential oils. Now, we already focused a lot on stress during day 1, but we're going to focus a lot more on the detoxing side of health for today. We're going to go pretty in-depth today. So buckle up, get your cup of tea or your glass of wine if you're watching this at night, whatever you need to buckle down. Focus in. I want you to turn off your phone. I want you to close out all the other tabs that you've got going on. I don't want you scrolling through Facebook right now. This is your time to learn, to focus, and to take care of yourself. So, all right. One caveat before we begin. I know that when we launched the 5-day reboot, we sort of pitched it as 5 minutes a day, every day. This exercise is a little bit of an exception to that 5-minute a day rule, but I think you're really going to like it. So hang in there. So today's challenge is all about detox. First, I'm going to share a really easy to make Epsom salt detox bath recipe that's infused with some detoxifying essential oils. So we're going to make that. Now that part takes less than 5 minutes. It's the actual taking of the bath that takes a little bit longer. So I think you'll be all right. We're going to return to the topic of detox as well once I explain the bath challenge aspect. So hold on to your horses. It's going to be a doozy today. I really like to think that today is one of the most important days of our 5-day challenge, because a lot of you here are here for a reason. You're here because you are on some sort of journey, whether that be a health journey or trying to lose weight or an emotional journey or maybe a life transformation journey. But all of you guys are here for a reason. But most of you are struggling with some aspect of your health. And the root problem for a lot of you, and you might not even realize this, a lot of people go around not realizing how much of an issue toxic load is on their overall health. And if you're not familiar with that term, toxic load, we'll break that down for you. Our bodies are resilient. They are designed to handle a certain level of toxicity, right? I mean, otherwise we'd all just be dead by now. Our bodies are really resilient. We've got a liver, we've got our blood, our water, our skin, like all these things that protect us from outside dangers. we're hearty, and we can really handle a lot. Humans can handle a lot of stuff going in and out of our bodies. But what a lot of people don't realize is that most of us are walking around all the time pretty much completely filled to our max capacity of toxins that are in our body, or we're overflowing with toxic load. There's too many toxins in our body and it's making us sick. And this manifests itself in lots of different ways for lots of different people. Some people, it manifests as fatigue. They're just tired all the time, no matter what they do. Some people walk around with brain fog a lot, and they don't feel totally here, and their mental clarity is just really diminished. Some people, it manifests as cancer. 1 in 3 people are diagnosed with cancer today, and the American Cancer Society is projecting that up to 1 in 2 people, half of the people, are going to start having cancer diagnoses of some sort in the near future. I mean, it's terrifying. Depression, autoimmune disease, a lot of these things, obesity, weight gain. If you're having trouble losing weight, it could be toxic load is your problem. All of us have a certain burden of toxins in our body. It's just a fact. I mean, unless you live in the middle of the rainforest, completely isolated from modern society, you have lots of toxins building up in your body over time. We know, studies have shown that our generation will have 30 to 50,000 chemicals in our bodies that our grandparents didn't have. They didn't even exist when our grandparents were alive. Isn't that crazy? The environmental working group that I love, they conducted a study where they found 287 chemicals in newborn umbilical cord blood. 287 chemicals in newborn umbilical cord blood on average. 180 of those chemicals were identified as cancer causing to humans and or animals. 217 of those toxins were linked to toxicity of the brain and the nervous system, and 208 of those were known to cause developmental problems. Now, that's a newborn baby born into this world. Obviously, when the mother is pregnant, she's going to have a toxic load. Not all of that is going to get filtered out of the placenta. Some of that's going to go to the baby. Now, does that mean that all babies are doomed and are born into this world just doomed to have developmental problems and brain problems and all these things? No, that's because, again, our bodies are designed to handle a certain amount of toxicity. But starting out in life, already behind is kind of crazy. So imagine how much more toxins and chemicals you have stored up in your body over time, depending on your age, if you're not focusing on helping flush that junk out. So that's what we're going to do today. So we're all going to fight back against our toxic load starting today. And we need to periodically do this as well. So today's detox bath is just a really simple, gentle ease, dip your baby toe into this world of detox, of getting rid of those toxins. And it just feels great. I love combining this with a hot bath because it's another great way to de-stress and just unload at the end of the day. So I think you guys are really going to like it. So step 1 of this process is make sure you are well hydrated. There's a reason that we're doing this on day 4, right after day 3, which was our water challenge, our hydration challenge. So drink lots of water because any sort of detox is going to stir stuff up and you want to help flush that stuff out. So the formula that we gave for proper hydration was given yesterday. So you can find that in the day 3 post. And I want you to add at least 4 cups of water to that formula today. I know yesterday I told you to add at least 2 cups. Today we're going to add at least 4 cups on top of that equation to give ourselves that extra detox push. All right, step 2 of the detox de-stress challenge. After you're well hydrated, go fill yourself up a nice hot bath. You want to make the water very hot as you can handle obviously without burning yourself. So, people have different heat tolerances. Like my husband can soak in a tub. All you who know my husband, Shambe, he can soak in a hot tub that's like 106 degrees for like an hour and he's good. And I'm like 102 after 10 minutes, I'm out. So find your perfect bath temperature, but make it as hot as you can handle it. This is going to help open up our pores and let our detox recipe get into our system, through our pores, into our bodies, and let things out as well. All right, so as you're filling up your hot tub of water, you're going to create your Epsom salt essential oil clay mixture. I'm going to copy and paste the recipe and put it just above this this Facebook Live post. If you're watching this on YouTube later, I've also included this in the bottom of the email that's going to go out soon here today, so you don't have to furiously take notes. But if someone does want to put it in the comments, if you want, go ahead. So we're going to do 2 cups of Epsom salt, 1 cup of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of bentonite clay, and I'll come back to that in a second. If you don't have bentonite clay, then you can use 1 cup of apple cider vinegar instead. It's not going to be as effective, but it'll do something. And then the essential oils we're going to use are 5 drops lavender, 5 drops chamomile, and 10 drops lemon essential oil. Okay, so I'll copy and paste that recipe for you all. I want to talk a little bit about bentonite clay because I think some of you might not be familiar with what bentonite clay is. It's a really amazing natural clay substance that naturally contains minerals that are good for us, like calcium, magnesium, iron. So those are good. And then the theory goes, and we're not sure exactly how this works, but the theory is that the clay absorbs the unwanted materials like toxins, bacterias, oily skin. A lot of people will do clay masks to get the oils off their skin. I already said bacteria. So the theory is that it sticks to these things that we don't want in our body, and it sort of soaks them up and then helps them exit the body, combine to the clay. So the clay doesn't want to, it's not going to stay in our body. It's going to bind to these unwanted things and then get excreted through our bodies, whether that be through our pores or it might go through our digestive system, through our blood. The body's crazy. It filters in all sorts of different ways. Some interesting things about bentonite clay. There was a small study done where scientists had rats consume wastewater that contains cyanide. Such nice scientists. Researchers then gave some of the rats various amounts of bentonite clay pills, which you can, if you buy a food grade bentonite clay, you can take it internally for detoxification purposes. So they gave some rats a certain amount of bentonite clay and the others just a placebo. And the rats that received the highest amount of clay had the lowest amounts of toxins in their bodies after just 3 weeks. So it got rid of the cyanide, essentially. And then there was another study that showed bentonite clay was effective for removing lead from wastewater, which is really important. My son, he had lead show up in his blood work early on because we live in a really old house and there was lead paint still in the window frames and we had to get that all replaced. It was just really terrifying. And so, having him take bentonite clay baths or even making little pills helped his system flush out that lead. We don't want that stuff in there, but it's great for flushing out other things too. People can make face masks with it. We are going to do it in a hot bath just as a really gentle way to allow the clay to detox our largest organ, our skin. Our skin is the largest organ. Everything that our skin touches and comes in contact with ends up in our body somehow. And it's a great way to help the clay enter our bodies in a really gentle way. All right, so we're going to mix all these ingredients together as our bath is filling up. And then right before you get in your bath, dump your ingredients in, give it a quick stir, and then get right on in that bathtub. And you're going to stay in there for at least 20 minutes. You can stay in as long as 40 minutes if you want, and if your water's staying hot that long. So 20 to 40 minutes is our goal. And then please be very careful getting out of the bathtub. We're going in a very hot bath. We're getting in substances that are going to detox our body. So if you get straight out of that hot bath, you're going to faint and you're going to fall over. So please be very careful and drink lots of water while you're in the bathtub. Don't forget to grab your water before you get in the bathtub, unless you're going to be yelling like, babe, get me some water. I'm in my detox bath. So please drink water. Take note of how you feel coming out of the bath and how you feel that day. You might feel a little strange if it's stirring a lot of things up, so I'm just forewarning you. But we are done with the instructions for the bath. So that's really all that I need you to do today. But I have a really special surprise for you all. There's a little bonus that comes along with today's challenge. So today is a little bit of a surprise 2-part challenge, because if you can tell already, detoxification, chemical awareness, toxic load, these are all things that are really dear and near to my heart. It's something that I'm really passionate about. I come from a place of wanting people to be empowered and make healthy choices. And so many people don't know this stuff, and they don't know about the things that are in their products that are contributing to their toxic load. So detoxing the body regularly with a bath, with clay, with diet and cleansing things, that's all great. And we want to do that pretty regularly. Once a month at least, I'd say do one of these baths. You can do them up to once a week. But mind blowing here, what if instead of focusing all of your attention on trying to detox what's already there, what if you also just spent 5 minutes a day focusing on lowering your toxic exposure as well? Mind blowing, right? So in your email today, what you're going to receive is a free PDF that I have created for you all. Sorry, my light is so bright, it's going to be hard to see. But you'll get the PDF in your inbox today, and I'll also post it here in the Facebook group. And I know we've got a couple edits going on. I'm trying to get my designer to make these more print worthy. Right now they're printing landscape. Upside down. I'm going to get him to turn them this way and a little bit smaller for you all. But if you can see here, this is one product example of just a common household product that everyone has in their home. Usually is just hand soap. And so this document is going to list the top chemical culprits that are very commonly found in hand soap, for example. And so if you want to go the extra mile today, what I want you to do is go through, there's 5 different products that are in this PDF. We've got toothpaste, household cleaner, hand soap, and a couple other things. So 5 of the most common products that I could think of that everyone uses. And I've listed out for you. I've done the research of the top chemicals that are commonly found in these products that you do not want to be exposing yourself to. So I want you to go through these 5 products and then just put a check mark next to any of these chemicals that are in your products. And then don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging. Tomorrow, we're going to go over the solutions for all of these. And you bet you can guess essential oils and DIY are part of that solution. And don't worry, if you're not a big DIYer, we've got solutions for you as well. So don't want to leave you hanging, but I don't want to give you too much work to do today. That's already a lot of work. So we are going to circle back around to this topic of toxic load and what to do about it to lower our overall exposure. All right. That's all for today, folks. That was a big day. I'm glad you're all here. Have fun doing your detox bath and going through the PDF that, again, look for your email. I'll send that out hopefully in the next hour. So by, 1:30 Eastern probably. And have fun doing that. And I'm going to go through and see if there's any questions in the comments for our Facebook Live people that are here. And in the meantime, you can watch me just awkwardly stare at my computer down here. So if you don't have any questions, you can leave. But it's nice. You can learn a lot by listening to other people's questions, I think. So when I was asking about how the cleanse or how the 5-day challenge was going, Tracy says way harder than I thought it would be to make the time, right? I struggle with it too. I'm gonna be honest, I'm like a little bit of a workaholic, and then when I'm not working, I devote all my time to my kids, my family. I just want to snuggle and play. Like my kids are finally getting old enough, you guys, that we can play like card games and board games together. I have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, and I'm a big game person. So I love that we can finally like teach them games and stuff, and it's been so much fun. So yeah, if I'm not working or spending time with my kids, it's like there's not a lot of time left over. Susan says it's great getting back in the habit of drinking water again. All right. I'm going to kind of start at the bottom now and look for questions. Thanks. What if no bathtub? Annie, my heart goes out to you. We also do not have a bathtub in our home, but we're actually under contract for a new home. So we're really excited, and it has 2 bathtubs in it. So we're so excited. So not having a bathtub, here's what you can do. I have a great neighbor. I'm friends with my neighbor, and she lets me use her bathtub because I have no boundaries, I think. So I have no problems like being like, hey girl, can I take a bath in your bathtub? And so she lets me do that. Ask permission because, some people might not want clay like in their bathtub. You have to clean it out really well afterward. So if you can't borrow a bathtub and you don't have a bathtub, then what you can do instead is create what do they call it? A paste. You can make a paste with the bentonite clay. I'm sorry I don't have an exact recipe for you, but I think you can kind of intuitively start with about, I'd say 1 or 2 tablespoons of the bentonite clay. Add a little bit of water at a time as you're mixing. Then add in the essential oils. I would omit the salt and the baking soda. Add in the essential oils to make a paste, and then you can put that on. What would be the best place to put that? I would say you're like over your liver area. You could do that. Or what might be easier than that is if you can do just a foot soak. So if you don't have a bathtub, I'm going to say you can do the paste. It's a little, I don't know, messy. Or you can do a foot soak instead using the same recipe. So get yourself a bin of water, hot water. Maybe if you have like a hot water kettle, keep the hot water going so that you can keep your water nice and warm while your feet are soaking. And that'll be a really good alternative. All right. Tracy says, thanks for the PDS. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to help some of you guys go through and detox some of the junk that does not deserve to be in your body. Robin asked, does it matter if it's Roman or German chamomile? For the purpose of this, no. If you were to use this for a child, if you were to do a detox on a child, you would want to stick to the Roman chamomile. The German chamomile is a little more controversial for use around kids. Susan says, I use all of these except chamomile. I'll need to get that essential oil. I've also read you should also add ascorbic acid to neutralize the chlorine. So I do that too. Interesting. I'm kind of spoiled. I live in the mountains and I have a spring water. So I don't get city water. So I don't have to worry about the chlorine. So thank you for sharing that, Susan, about the ascorbic acid. I'm sure people are going to have a lot more questions about that. And that's not something I know a lot about. So if you want to elaborate on that in the comments, that would be great. Like how much ascorbic acid, where do you even get it? That kind of thing. And then thank you for reminding me to say, if you don't have these specific essential oils, that's okay. The bentonite clay is going to be doing most of the detoxing here. I'd say most people have lemon essential oil, which to me is one of the most supportive oils for detoxing as well. And then lavender is just a great catch-all most people have. So don't be afraid to experiment. Essential oils, in my opinion, are so versatile that they're all going to benefit your body. And then also we've got that de-stressing component with it too. So really any oils that you just like to soak in, go for it. Casey says she uses it as an armpit detox. Love it. Love it. Yeah, you could make a paste and put it on your armpit. All right. Thank you for writing out that recipe, Casey. Oh, Cindy, thank you. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people are asking about alternatives for tubs. So, yes, again, foot soak, foot soak. I'm not seeing too many more questions, so I'll hop off here pretty soon. Ginger says, catching you live. Yay. Yay. It's so much fun. Hi, Ginger. I'm sorry, Gina. Gina. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. I think I've got all the questions here. I'm sorry if I missed anything. I'll try to keep popping back into the group every now and then to to answer questions. I know a lot of you have been sending me questions via email and Facebook Messenger as well. I'm sorry I have not had time to answer those individually yet. I would highly recommend, if you have been sending me individual questions via email and you're a part of the Facebook group, post your question in the Facebook group, because there's so many amazing experienced oil people here. They'll be able to give you some input and some help as well. And then I promise, I try to answer every single email that comes in. I don't mean to ignore anyone. I promise. All right. I love you guys so much. This has been so much fun. I'm glad you're all here. Have fun with your bath today, and we'll see you again tomorrow for our last day. I was really excited about today, but I think I'm almost more excited about tomorrow. It's going to be we're going to do something that's going to help us continue our healthy habits going into the rest of the year. That's so simple, super simple, and you're going to love it. And we'll also circle back around to this conversation about toxic load and detox, because it's so important and it's so big. All right. Bye, everyone.